You know, the Heat may never lose again.
If they play defense the way they did in the fourth quarter Friday night, you might be right. Miami looking to extend its team record winning streak to 17 games when the Heat hosted the Sixers Friday night. The Sixers have had trouble on the road against everyone, dropping their last 11 away from home. You see the Heat with a chance to tie the Clippers for the longest win streak in the NBA this season. Dwayne Wade misses the jumper, falls, so he's slow to get back on defense, but Wade sprints back into the picture. Darrell Wright blocked from behind by Wade, who got back into the picture very quickly. It's just the way of Wade. Wow. Now, you've heard of Lob City. How about Lob South Beach, Neil? Is that working for you?
Yeah, listen, if you said it, it works for me.
Norris Cole up top. LeBron James throwing it down. And how about the Birdman taking flight? Chris Anderson with the dunk. 76ers doing their work from way out there. Damian Wilkins, 3-ball. Bang, bang, bang. He had 12. Royale Ivy. Oh, that's a Royale with cheese. He was 2 for 2 from deep. And then Wright, another 3. He was 3 for 6. He had 14 points. 76 was 7 of 10 from 3 in the first half. Sixers up 4 at the half. Third quarter now. Heat come back down 8. Wade, he had 22. Heat down 6. Final seconds of the quarter, Heat down 2. LeBron James, 3 at the buzzer, no problem. 2 for 3 from 3 for James. Heat up 1 after 3. In the fourth quarter, they really turned up their defense. You could see Eric Spoelstra talk to them about that in between quarters. LeBron James gets the bucket and the foul. 17-4 run for Miami. The Heat up 6 after the free throw. James, 25 points and 10 rebounds. Heat up 9. Later in the quarter, it's Wade shooting 55% from the floor during Miami's streak. He had 22 in this game. Miami actually clinched the playoff spot in this game. 13 in a row at home and 17 in a row overall.
I'm a part of a special team, and you know what we have in this locker room is way better than seasons where I had to carry the load, and a lot of people patted me on the back for that. And I read it this way anyway, where you have a team, any given night anybody can lead this team to the victory. It just feels better. It's not easier.
Last year's team ended up winning the championship, but I think this year's team has the potential to be better than last year's team. If we continue to not take any shortcuts, not take any days off on the process of us trying to get better each and every day. And, if we do that, we put ourselves in a position to compete for another championship.
So the Heat tie the Clippers for the longest win streak this season at 17. Now, comparing the streaks, the Clippers won by an average of 15 per game, 4 more than the Heat during their streak, but Miami has been shooting 51% from the field. They face a tough test Sunday against Indiana, which has already beaten them twice this season. For more now, the NBA Countdown crew.
17 straight victories and counting for the champion Miami Heat. Woo! It's a long way from 33. The Los Angeles Lakers, the championship Lakers of 1972, Wilt and Jerry West. But it's not so far from 22 in a row, which is what the Houston Rockets did a few years ago. Irvin, how long will this streak go on?
Well, look, Indiana Pacers Sunday night, a big game. Both teams got something to prove to each other. The Pacers really know how to play Miami. They match up well. They play them physical. They play great defense. And I think Sunday night, that's going to be the game to look to. If Miami beats the Pacers, I think then 3 nights later, when they play Philly in Philly after a back-to-back playing Atlanta first, could be also the time where they lose.
It's hard to believe they're 17. They're like barely halfway to the 72.
That's right, it is, isn't it?
What happened during that streak? That was incredible. My theory with streaks is that they usually end when you don't expect them to end. And, they got Indiana Sunday night. They have Boston on a Thursday night at Boston. They have at Chicago coming later. But it's usually a team, like I'm looking, game 21 would be at Toronto. It's sandwiched between those Milwaukee-Boston games. You just feel like you got to show up, you're going to win. All of a sudden, you're down 18. I mean, you've been in there before. That's usually when the wheels come off.
The 72-win Bulls lost in Toronto.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, one of their few losses was in Toronto.
Well, hold on. Speaking of that point, the 86 Celtics, who won 67 games, and half of the games they lost were the dumbest teams and the dumbest game. They lost to New Jersey twice, and that's what happens.
The game I've got them losing is at Milwaukee. You know what they've done against Milwaukee? People say Milwaukee, they're an eighth seeded team. Overtime, it took Miami to beat Milwaukee in Miami at home, and then at Milwaukee, they lost by 19.
Yeah.
There's some athleticism. Larry Sanders can block shots. He's a presence inside, if you will.
Well, my question is, how long do they care? Because they pretty much have the 1 seed locked up, and the longer this goes, like, if they got in the 30s, that would be April, and they would have these clinched.
They care Sunday.
Yeah.
They care Sunday. Because Magic's right about this. They know there's only one, other than Boston, there's one team in the East, and it's Indiana. They want to put them away badly, having lost to them twice. Sure. But when you talk about streaks, and you talk about 33 straight games, and Miami's like just more than halfway there, still 17.
This is fun. I like it.
In Miami, the heat goes on. 17th straight win. Mark Schwartz was there.
The Heat trailed most of the evening, committed 10 first-half turnovers, and yet LeBron James spent the final 8 minutes on the bench. It was a knowing look exchanged between LeBron and Coach Eric Spoelstra at the 8:02 mark in the fourth that said, "You need a rest. Let's let the rest of the guys carry us home." So on a night when Dwayne Wade played 34 minutes and James 35, afterwards Wade told me he much prefers this load to logging those heavy minutes as he's had to do in years past.
Do you want to try to lead the league in scoring? Or do you want to be a part of a special team? One day we're all going to be away from this game, and we're going to have moments where we get to talk about these moments that we're creating right now.
We have an opportunity to be. Last year's team ended up winning the championship, but I think this year's team has the potential to be better than last year's team. If we continue to, not take any shortcuts, not take any days off on the process of us trying to get better each and every day, and if we do that, we put ourselves in a position to compete for another championship.
So now the real fun begins. Sunday here against the Pacers, a game Chris Bosh says he and his teammates have circled on their calendar for quite some time because the Pacers pounded the Heat twice this year. They also pushed them to the limit with their physical play in the playoffs last May. But after, LeBron James told me Indiana is not our rival quite yet. In Miami, Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
So who you like, Indiana or Miami?
Miami.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there.
I'm going to switch back and forth between that and the golf.
No, I just mean who do you think is going to win?
Oh, okay.
Miami.
Miami.
After that, Miami's got a home game against the Hawks Tuesday, followed by 5 road games in 8 days starting Wednesday as they work on that 17-game streak. Kind of weird.
Number 3, the Heat. Doing it as a team. Evan Turner goes up for the layup. Birdman, Chris Anderson with the block. Evan Turner gets it back. Anderson there again for the block. That starts the break. Norris Cole up top for LeBron James. Heat going to win at 102-93.